Recording, hell yeah.
So, in 2025, for the ESPYs, which is the ESPN Awards show,
That sounds like a
ESPN
waste
being
of time.
it's the sports network, right? It's like their equivalent of the Oscars
Yeah.
or the Grammys or whatever. Basically, they wanted strong people and fast people wanted to have the same kind of award ceremony that all of the charismatic and funny people do. And so they thought that it would be a good idea to have Shane Gillis host it.
Of ISIS Toyota fame.
So he did a 10-minute opening monologue of the ESPYs in 2025. And it's basically 10 minutes of him cracking some of the funniest fucking jokes like you'll ever hear that are somehow still related to sports. And only a single person in the audience laughing, and that single person is Drewski.
I don't know what sports are, but I assume this is funny.
Exactly. I didn't either. That's why I found it so funny. It was funnier that the amount of times he made a joke, nobody laughed, and he was like, "Yeah, I knew you guys weren't gonna like that one, but Disney let me keep it in anyways." It's really great. Whenever I'm in a bad mood or I'm just feeling down for some reason, I go back and I watch Shane Gillis's opening monologue at the ESPYs 2025.
Yeah, so Now You See Me, Now You Don't.
Isn't the name of the full Now You Don't? Isn't that the second movie?
No. It's Now You See Me, Now You See Me 2, Now You See Me 3, Now You Don't.
Oh, there's 3 of them.
The third one came out last year. So, hi, welcome back to the Neo-Isomorphism podcast, lucky number 19. Today, we're going to be talking about
It's a 2013 film?
Hit 2013 film, Now You See Me. This is part of a new, a great leap forward for the podcast, where each week, one of us is going to recommend to the other a piece of media, and we're going to experience it and review it, because we have very different tastes in media, and this should be interesting. I tried to grab a third individual for the podcast, but he said
never
no.
happening.
Yeah.
Understandably so. It was so this was my first time seeing this movie. I watched it earlier today, and I know you rewatched it earlier today, but this is not the first time you'd seen this movie. You recommended this to me.
Yes.
And the initial impression that I got of it, just kind of looking at the movie before I started watching it, I saw that it was like a magician movie starring Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook, the Hulk from the Avengers, Black Man, and that old guy from Interstellar that dies and lies.
And we're not even touching on the women who are also in this movie.
There were women in this movie.
That is lore accurate to Neo-Isomorphism.
I forget about women sometimes.
Real.
Actually, I meant to look this up when I watched
the only women in your life are to send you yaoi.
Yeah, that's what women are for. But who play? I speak to women so they can send me more pictures of men.
Yes, iron sharpens iron. But yeah, Jesse Eisenberg, Mark Ruffalo, Woody Harrelson, and Melanie Laurent, Isla Fisher,
Melanie Laurent.
Whatever. I don't respect the French. Common is Mark Ruffalo's boss for some reason. Dave, he's listed on Wikipedia ahead of Dave Franco, who is another main character in the movie. He's the Franco that's not the sex pervert, and also in jail.
Right.
And Michael Caine and Morgan Freeman. Yeah, they got actual actors for this, which is kind of crazy. It's funny that you mentioned the Hulk, because the director here, Louis Leterrier, also directed the first 2 Transporter films, The Incredible Hulk, the Edward Norton one, and Clash of the Titans, and the 10th and 11th Fast and Furious movies. So he's a real cinephile.
He definitely a cinephile. Anyways, while I was watching the movie, the fucking French actress, I kept that's where I recognize her. She plays
She's in Inglourious Bastards.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, she plays the French girl from Inglorious Bastards, and I'm disappointed that I don't remember her character's name.
Yeah, she has a knack for playing French people.
Probably because she's French.
No, say it ain't so. But
Uh,
yeah.
uh, uh, uh,
So
uh, 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 uh.
my history with this movie. Well, I have a dark secret to admit. Uh,
Mhm.
I first watched this movie last year at the recommendation of some friends. I knew it beforehand as like the insane magician heist movie, uh, and it starts out with Jesse Eisenberg doing a magic trick. He has a deck of cards. He is presenting to a group of people, and he flips through the deck of cards, and he says, "Pick a card, but don't tell me." And then he puts the card up in the lights on the building behind him, and it's the Seven of Diamonds.
And it is very obvious
Yes,
which card he's expecting you to pick. They do a good job of showing how he subtly pauses while he's flipping through the deck to make you see that one.
the Seven of Diamonds appears for longer than the rest as he's flipping through the deck. I think if you go frame by frame, it actually appears multiple times in the deck. Um, but yeah, I have a dark confession to make. I got got. I got got by Mark Zuckerberg the first time I watched this movie. The card I was thinking of in my head was the Seven of Diamonds, and he got me. And we were talking earlier about a stupid person's idea of a smart person's movie, and that's how I think of this one. And I got got by
Yeah,
by the
you
dumb movie.
got, which means, you know what that means? This is a tragic for you, actually. This is
Yeah,
really bad for you. But because you got by something you deem a movie made by stupid people thinking that this
yep,
movie is about smart people, that makes you dumber than the dumb person.
yeah. It's
Because I saw that Seven of Hearts and I'm like, oh, the trick is going to be
Seven of
about the
Diamonds.
Seven of Heart, the Seven of Diamonds.
Yeah. No, I did think it appeared for longer, so I was like, oh, I'll think of the Seven of Diamonds, and then it appeared
He
in the
got
building
you.
behind it, and I contemplated suicide, if I'm being
Uh-huh.
entirely honest with you. But yeah, and since that was all it took for me to be, I went from oh yeah, I'll chill and watch this movie with friends to 110% invested. I was like sitting forward on the couch, completely locked in because I now it was personal, and yeah. So this is Now You See Me. This is a I guess you could call it a heist movie, kind of like Ocean's 11, but significantly more insane.
I think it's described as like a heist thriller.
Sure, I'll believe that. Um, yeah, so basically, stage magic. Is it cool?
I think it's pretty cool.
Well, this movie definitely thinks it's cool. I liked stage magic when I was younger. I had a little kit. I had a little thing with cards in it and a little magic wand. And I tried to learn how to do sleight of hand stuff and show it off to my friends. I was bad at it, so didn't really work out. But yeah, this is about using stage magic that is also maybe real magic to steal shit, which kind of, I mean, nice concept. Got some good actors,
Yeah.
and when I describe this as a stupid movie, I need you to understand that in no way lessens my appreciation of it or how entertaining it is. This is an extremely entertaining film. It is also an extremely stupid film. It is. This is in the same headspace for me as like the first Bayformers movie.
Uh-huh.
Very dumb, but executed so well that it is still extremely enjoyable to just sit down and watch.
It really was.
Yeah. So magic is real? Question mark.
Yeah, I think that was kind of the one thing that they were like alluding to throughout the movie. That like there's a chance that the whole point of what the magicians doing what they were doing was to become part of this secret organization known as the Eye that started in Egypt, like every secret
I
organization does.
I love the flashback where they have the like the hieroglyphic wall, and Morgan Freeman's
Oh yeah, with
narrating,
Morgan
and they have
Freeman.
like they learn sleight of hand to steal food from the pharaohs, and you have a platter with the cup and ball, and it's like the 2D like the sideways Egyptian thing, and like they're pulling the cup off the ball.
Hieroglyphs.
The not hieroglyph is the wrong word. It's like the the style of Egyptian art that's on the inside of the tombs. I'm not sure what the name for it is.
I think it still technically counts as a hieroglyph.
I guess. I don't know.
Well, there's that case cut and closed. I really think that was kind of the only thing the movie left pretty open-ended at the end, was whether or not magic itself was real in the sense of like actual magic. Because I think the whole point was that like pretty much everything they did in the movie was either explained in the movie or an explanation was alluded to.
Well, see, the thing is, they want to try and explain it so that it looks cool and like, oh, you can know how the trick is done. But then some of it is, at one point, Isla Fisher, Henley Reeves, the character name, she pulls a rabbit. She's like, oh, you've heard of pulling a rabbit out of a hat. Now what about pulling a hat out of a rabbit? And she just fucking transmutes that beast into a hat. She just flicks her hands and the rabbit just turns into a hat. And like, no, that's not sleight of hand. That's CGI bullshit. Her character's responsible for most of the magic that is actually has to be magic. Like at one point she jumps into a bubble and just floats around. Or like tosses a bunch of scarves that reveal a teleporter in the middle.
The floating scars and the teleporter showing up, I was like, okay, what the fuck?
That was that's the secondary lock-in moment. First it gets you, and then that happens, and you're like, oh, this isn't an ordinary magic movie.
Mm-hmm. The bubble was weird. I was trying to think of like where are the wires, but if there were wires, you would see the wires going through the bubble, and how does it not? There was a lot of weird shit with that.
It's called CGI.
Well, no, it doesn't have to be CGI because there's one answer to every magic trick that always works 100% of the time. And do you know what it is?
Hit me with it.
Magnets.
Fucking magnets. How do they work?
It's always magnets. But then you get into another kind of a complicated argument with that, because I would argue magnets are magic. Magnets don't make no fucking sense. Are you telling me I can have two pieces of metal and they're a little excited and they get horny and suddenly they want to be closer to each other? No, go fuck yourself. That's magic.
How do they work? It's like that. It's like the James Bond one where they like toss the magnets down the elevator well and then jump down and they have magnetic suits and they just float in the middle of the air.
Yeah, that's some crazy shit. I don't know. It's always magnets. So yeah, her floating in the bubble in the air, magnets. The tarps, magnets.
Imagine the Four Horsemen, the magicians, set this up in universe and they kick it on and they've done all this planning and they're 45 steps ahead, but they didn't check that one of the people in the audience had a pacemaker. And so they're just starting these powerful electromagnets and just like induce a heart attack in the one guy in the back. And he's trying to grab everyone's attention and he's like waving, he's like and clutching his chest, but nobody's looking at him because they're too busy watching fucking Mark Zuckerberg do a backflip. Yep.
And then he accidentally says freeze and he gets tackled by all the hypnotized people.
Yeah. That was dude, Woody Harrelson's powers of psychic domination, which are more accurate. Woody Harrelson actually has those.
Yes, he does in real life.
Yeah,
that was the stuff that was the freakiest to me. That was the stuff that I was like, because I'm a believer in like mentalism to a certain degree. I believe that there are people with observation skills acute enough to be able to read micro expressions in your face to get a lot more information out of you than like you would otherwise think you're revealing. And like at first the movie would just kind of like expanded upon that idea. It's like that. Yes, that's what he's doing. You can see that like he's waiting for something and watching their faces very closely as he's talking to them. But then like the shit with the fucking the bullshit trigger word violin.
Yeah, he makes Common start playing the violin in the empty room. He takes off his helmet and when he's disguised as a French motorcycle cop. And he just does the people salute real quick, and the guy driving the truck just dies.
Yeah, they literally just like pass out.
And their explanation is contrary to what you might believe, the people driving these trucks aren't exactly mental giants. Like, they're weak-willed, and that allows him to control them. First of all,
Yeah.
I've never heard that the people driving armored trucks are like geniuses or something. I don't think that's a thing that people get told. Second of all, what the hell?
He literally just looks at them when they pass out. Like, that doesn't... Like, that's insane.
To reiterate this one last time, when I say that the movie is dumb, I mean they're trying to explain the tricks in a way that this could happen in the real world, but they can't. So it just kind of comes off as like they're just trying to say big, grandiose stuff. And it always there's a lot of that, all according to Keikaku, in this movie. Like near the 3/4 of the way through, the best scene in the entire movie is Mark Ruffalo versus Dave Franco. First in the apartment, then in the car chase. That is like the best scene in the movie.
Oh, 100%. I loved that whole sequence.
It's just they just drop the pretenses, and it's just a straight up fucking wizard fight. Like Dave Franco palms the flash paper, like the paper that lights on fire,
and throws it at him.
And
fucking
he's supposed
fireballs.
to be, he's like,
he
oh,
literally
he's
just tosses fireball.
No, he's just casting fireball. He's just straight up casting fireball at Mark Ruffalo. Mark Ruffalo grabs a poker and is using it like a sword. He dives into a curtain to try and hide, and Mark Ruffalo dives after him, and he just teleports to the other side of the room. And meanwhile, while he's doing this, he's just taking turns beating up the guy whose hands are caught in the garbage disposal, who then frees himself by shooting his gun right next to his trapped hand. Perfect. Anyway, but Dave Franco dies in a fiery auto wreck. And we're like, oh, so sad.
No, he never died. I was 100% convinced that he did not die.
It's very obvious that they weren't going to just kill him off. Because, and there's a lot of the Four Horsemen, the Three Horsemen are just like, oh, I'm so sad that Dave Franco is dead, but we got to keep going. Mm-hmm. And then they reveal that they were all in on this plan to like this elaborate plan of stealing a car and a body from the morgue and like staging a car crash. And they knew that they would be chasing them down that exact bridge, and they knew everything how it was going to go down before it was going down. But then it has the problem of, okay, then why were they like acting like that beforehand? Like if they had everything prepared, but then they were panicking when the police showed up, that's only for us, the audience, to see. Like they're like, oh, the police are here, but they knew. I mean, maybe they had prepared, but the police were early. But
I think the idea with that was the paper that they ended up getting from the car wreck that like let them know they were going to be at like where the vault was. I think that's why they did all that, to make it believable that it's something they didn't want the FBI to have. Because then it would lead them there and play into the like additional misdirection of them thinking the vault was empty.
I mean, I was talking more about right before the cops show up, they're like panicking and running around the room and arguing, but then it shows that they had the whole thing planned out and they needed the cops to come there so they could drop it. I mean, maybe if we want to be, if we could maybe say that they knew the cops were going to come, but the cops were early, or maybe they were just kind of improvising based on having like the car thing already prepared. But it just seems like a lot of the stuff that there's a lot of twists in this movie where the reveal doesn't make sense if you go back and watch it already knowing what the twist is, because there's a lot of stuff that just is directly counter to what the twist is going to be, and it's only for the audience to see. Like right before I'm not sure if they were recording at the point where they said it, but after Dave Franco dies, they're like, oh, we need to continue on for Dave's memory. And I'm not sure if the camera was recording when they said that, because then they start the camera and record their eulogy for Dave Franco and where they're going to be. But if the camera wasn't recording, then they're just saying that for themselves. I mean, maybe they're getting into character, but they know he's not dead. They helped him fake his death. It's not a great mystery or twist or thriller or whatever, because it does feel like they just pull it out of their ass. You can't, like going back and watching it knowing what happens in the movie, it feels like Mark Ruffalo is just jobbing a lot for no reason. I mean, maybe, he's trying to stay in character, and maybe he's trying to make it so that he's more believable, but he kind of just gets his ass handed to him a bunch of times, and it doesn't come off as, oh, he's deliberately failing. It comes off like he's just stupid, in my opinion.
Interesting. I don't know. I think I also have a habit of giving movies a lot more credit than other people seem to. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm just like an optimistic hope maxing kind of guy, and you're just a pessimistic doom maxing kind of guy, and that's why our personalities clash enough to make an interesting podcast.
Yeah, I'm an individual who likes to think that he's smarter than he is. So when I see stuff that has flaws in it, I like to do a little CinemaSins ding and point it out. I was like, actually, you can't turn a rabbit into a hat. And that's how you enjoy movies,
Shut
kids.
the fuck up. That's how you take the fun out of watching movies.
No, when I was watching this for the first time, I was with a bunch of people who had already seen it, and I was pulling the John Hamm where he's like sitting with the cigarette and staring at the screen. I was like I was doing that the whole time. I was giving it my undivided attention because it deserves it. Because the action is well done, especially in like the scenes around like the 3/4 of the way through. Would you think that the movie would have been more interesting if Mark Ruffalo had done a few more things that were unexplainable before the reveal? Because in the lore of this movie, Mark Ruffalo is supposed to be one of the guys that has actual real life magic, not stage magic.
Yes. Yeah. I honestly, that was the only thing that I did not see that coming at the end. Maybe I don't know if it just like wasn't looking close
It
enough,
was not. It was not set up well. I agree.
or like at all. I don't know if like I don't think that's probably something you weren't supposed to see coming.
It's something you're not supposed to see coming, but there's literally nothing to suggest it, which means that when you go back and see it, knowing that it's coming, it's just like, okay, so Mark Ruffalo is an idiot until he isn't.
I guess I don't know, because there's a couple like avenues that you can take from that. And since we kind of like jumped into it, if you haven't seen the movie and you're still you're listening,
Yeah.
Spoiling the ending of it. But basically, the FBI agent that is in charge of the case of the magicians trying to stop them, so they stop, robbing Paris banks, um, is secretly the guy who was orchestrating all of it. And is part of this like ancient Egyptian organization, the Eye. And so, in theory, if what they say about the Eye is true, and that the Eye is the organization that effectively gatekeeps actual magic and separates like stage tricks and illusions from literally casting fireball, we don't like it. It is never even minutely alluded to, at least in any way that either of us noticed during the film, that Mark Ruffalo's character is any kind of supernatural. And you can see that, I think, either as a flaw in the film and in the story writing, because if like some people have negative opinions about just tossing like surprising information at people in media without giving them some kind of ability to like allude to it in some way.
We were talking about the Blacklist earlier. That is my main problem with the Blacklist.
Yeah?
It feels like it's trying to pull every plot twist conceivable without really earning it at all in any way, shape, or form.
I've only ever actually seen the Blacklist in the form of YouTube shorts.
And I've only seen like scattered individual episodes. So maybe our opinions on this aren't the most valuable, but from what I saw, it felt like it was pulling twists to have hype moments and aura, and then if trying to actually go and piece it together, it didn't make a ton of sense.
But yeah, so but there's also the perspective that you could take it with as like, because there was absolutely no evidence given that he was a member of the Eye, it is supposed to show how like careful and skilled they are. Because I mean, well, Mark Ruffalo in himself is a good actor.
Yeah.
And so like even I would believe, but even still, like, to behave in the ways that his character was behaving while being the one orchestrating the entire crime he was trying to solve at the same time insinuates like a supernaturally heightened level of like acting capability, because especially considering the fact that one of the four horsemen was supposedly this like super mentalist that could tell anything
Read
about
anyone.
anyone.
Although there weren't many, I don't think there were any situations where Woody Harrelson and Mark Ruffalo had like a real.
I think the only time they did was in the initial interrogation scene.
He talked briefly to him,
when
but
he
he spent
had them.
most of his time on Jesse Eisenberg.
True. Well, yes, this is true. But we did see the mentalist do that kind of like he did that breakdown of him in during the interrogation, and at the end of the movie, he does say like that he knew it the whole time, and he says it like he's bluffing, but it's not. I guess it's not impossible that he actually did, considering the mentalist abilities that we've seen him displayed during the film.
I mean, Mark Ruffalo's character in the story has been, his father was a magician who was killed during a trick, locked in a safe, dropped in the river, couldn't escape. He was killed due to a bunch of different actors, and he has sort of set this up as an elaborate revenge plot, and also testing the skills of the Four Horsemen to see if he can initiate them into the Eye. So it's Mark Ruffalo is organizing this both for personal revenge and also to test these new recruits. And his character has been living this lie for long enough that's basically become his life. His life. Like, you get it?
His lie. You're not funny. That was awful. That was terrible. Go turn around. Go turn around and like close your eyes.
But his character, he changed his last name so that he had no association with his father. He joined the FBI so he could kind of be embedded in them and keep an eye on this. He's been living this for a long time that, yeah, it could be he's in deep cover. He's not, like, going to be revealing this information. But, I don't know. I feel like, here's what I think. I don't think this is a good addition to the film, but I think it is an entertaining addition to the film, which is good in this context. I think it should have been you trim a little bit of fat earlier on, and then instead of doing like the weird, crazy jumping scene, you find some way to reveal that Mark Ruffalo is in the Eye beforehand, and you have one final scene where he just straight up uses real magic.
Yeah,
there's like an army of SWAT officers coming to get them. Mark Ruffalo is like, here's the scene. Mark Ruffalo has the four of them at gunpoint. They're like, oh, you finally caught us, agent, but we're one step ahead. They try and have like a cable they've rigged up because of course they have a cable rigged up to escape. It fails. They're trapped.
Yep.
And then the SWAT members come, and then Mark Ruffalo is just like, all right, I think it's time you learn the truth. Just turns around and just fucking force lightnings an entire crowd of SWAT officers.
Oh, 100%.
And then the movie just hard cuts, just ends right to credits right after that.
Yes, yeah, no, absolutely. Or like alternatively too, if the whole thing is, it's what's the whole thing was like the closer you look, the less you see. So it's like he looks like he's going to do something super flashy, like he charges up this massive fireball or this massive lightning bolt to like scare them, and then he actually just like time stops and leaves. Like it does the Dio sound effect too. He like pisses on one of their shoes. It's like a 10-minute sequence of Mark Ruffalo just like fucking around with frozen people, and then he like unfreezes the Four Horsemen and they like go home.
I'm gonna put the video that we were watching earlier on screen because this makes no sense if you haven't seen that video.
1, 2, buckle my shoe.
Where'd you get those shoes? Back home store.
We went early for Christmas.
Sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree?
I 100% agree. I do like the idea of him doing like a quick crash course in magic with them, and we just get to see Woody Harrelson charging a Kamehameha.
Yeah.
This is not a good addition to the movie, but it is a fun addition to the movie. So we're going with it.
100%.
Yeah. So can I actually? It's interesting that you bring up the point about like the acting. Can I spoil the second movie for you? It's not as good as this one.
Sure.
So the second movie, right? You would expect it to be, okay, they're in the eye, they're learning real magic, they're using it to pull off heists. Because I like the idea of 4 guys with actual real-life magic pulling off heists and then maybe being opposed by someone who also has magic. Like, that's a neat idea. Like, we skip the foreplay of the stage magic. Maybe they need to find a way to disguise it as stage magic still, just for the theming. But, like, I want to see someone shoot lightning bolts. They don't do that. Instead, they're in the eye, but they need to wait before they can get more into the eye. And Mark Ruffalo was running interference for them at the FBI, but he's suspected as being a collaborator, and he's found out. And then they're on the run, and also Daniel Radcliffe is there, and Michael Caine is back, and he's trying to get revenge on them. And it's just... The tricks aren't as ludicrous, and they're more stupid and less fun, all the magic that they do in that movie. And also Woody, here's what sums up all that's wrong with Now You See Me Too. Woody Harrelson, it's his brother that ran away with the money, and it's just him with hair. Because Woody Harrelson's character was exposed for being a fraud. Well, not a fraud. He was exposed for scamming people and put in jail. And his brother ran away with the money. Woody Harrelson's twin brother is in there. And he's evil Woody Harrelson. He's working for the bad guys. And they never once do a bit where Woody Harrelson has to put on a wig and disguise himself as his brother. And use his mentalism powers to get in somewhere. And the first time I saw the second movie, I was just waiting for that scene to happen. I was like, okay, I know what kind of movie this is. You have an evil twin. He's going to have to disguise himself as the evil twin. It's just got to happen. And it never happens in the movie.
That is disappointing that doesn't happen.
That is what's wrong with Now You See Me Too in a nutshell.
That's so sad. Yeah. Have you seen the third one?
I have not actually seen the third one. I was planning to go with some friends, but I ate some bad sushi, and I was extremely sick that weekend.
That's so unfortunate.
Yeah,
oh my god, fucking Mark Zuckerberg shaved his head.
He's got the buzz cut.
For the third one. That's messed up. He looks like a drug... like Jesse Pinkman. Look at this. No. I just found a Reddit post from 10 months ago and it's titled, "Why is Now You See Me considered so bad?" And the top comment is, "The whole point of stage magic is that it makes you wonder how they did it. It doesn't translate to a movie because I know how they did it. CGI."
He knows. There are only
That's crazy.
There are only the tricks at the beginning, like the 4 tricks that introduce them. Well, no. The 3 tricks, no, the 2 tricks. The trick that Jesse Eisenberg and Dave Franco do could have been real magic tricks. Woody Harrelson just has complete dominance over the human mind.
Woody Harrelson is actually just casting Detect Thoughts and Charm Person like every other every other stuff.
Woody Harrelson is such a beast. He's able to maintain concentration on two spells at once.
Either that, or he's just actually like bardic inspirationing himself before he does every charisma check, constantly casting the Friends cantrip. And he's
Friends cantrip.
And he's
not Friends.
And he's an eloquence bard.
Yeah, and
so he can't roll below a 10.
Yeah, Isla Fisher, her trick is she's in a tank of water with piranhas above her, and she has a minute to escape before the piranhas are dumped on her. And she can't escape, and the tank overflows with bubbling red potion, and then it cuts to reveal that she's just out of the tank further away. And maybe there was like a trapdoor or something like underneath a jacuzzi jet, and that's how she escaped, but I don't know. Also, apparently the actress literally was trapped when they were filming that. Like when she's pounding on the glass, she actually... That wasn't her acting. Everyone thought that she was acting, but she literally was trapped in that tank and like chained to the bottom. And everyone's like, man, you're doing a great job of pretending to be trapped.
Oh, dear. Wow. Yeah. That's... Yikes.
But yeah, so there's like the 2 tricks that those 2 do at the beginning. And... like some of the stage magic in the New Orleans section where they like put the rabbit in the box, that could have been real like actually achievable in real life, and all the rest of it was like, oh yeah, we squished a man. We squished a man and sent him to Paris, and we knew that man because we were flipping casino chips in front of him to make him go to Vegas.
I do I always love instances and scenes in movies where it's just like the quality of the scene is derived not from the actor acting, but from like something actually just like whatever's happening in the scene is genuinely just happening to the actor.
So you like method
and
acting.
my yes, yeah.
Your
and my favorite
variation
example
of method
this,
acting is when actors die in movies, they have to die in real life.
Yeah, correct. It's like when you die in a video game, or like everybody knows the sword fight scene from Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones.
Yeah, Indiana Jones. Yeah,
and
Harrison Ford was tired that day, so he just killed the stuntman, so he didn't have to do the stunt.
No, oh my god, it was so much worse. He so the original choreography for that scene was like an actual long-winded, like well choreographed sword fight that Harrison Ford was genuinely suffering from like a severe case of dysentery. And so he went up to Spielberg and was like, "Hey, can I just shoot the guy?" And Spielberg was like, "Yeah, go for
With
it."
With live rounds.
Oh god, yeah. What even? Let's see. We've gone over most of the like
core beats. Do you want to talk about
like,
the Mark Ruffalo romance and the?
Oh god, yes. Actually, that's one of the things I wanted to bring up. I did not see a point.
Nope. There is none. She does not come back in the second movie.
Yeah,
maybe she comes
I thought
back
it was
in the
completely unnecessary. I thought it was a little forced, kind of random, and added absolutely nothing to the plot.
Yeah, Mark Ruffalo is Big Magic Man, but he has to pretend to not be Big Magic Man, so French lady has to explain how magic works to him while he's like, magic is stupid. And then they kiss at the end, and there's no chemistry and no reason for them to be together, and it just happens. She's an Interpol agent, and he's an FBI agent, and they're both looking at the Four Horsemen.
Yep. She's French, and he's the Hulk. And,
it's a tale of love as old as time, like Romeo and Juliet.
Very much so.
I don't know. There's a couple threads in the movie that go nowhere. Like, there's a little bit of stuff about Dave Franco being like the kid of the group, and nobody like trusts him. But it's only mentioned twice.
Like once.
Yeah, it's like right before they're like, "Oh yeah, you're the kid of the group, so we don't trust you, but stay back and burn these documents." So then he gets to fight Mark Ruffalo, and then afterwards, when he comes back, they're like, "Oh, you're not a kid anymore," and it's like he wasn't a kid beforehand. There's a little.
Yeah, he did just 1v2 at like 2 FBI agents with magic.
Yes, actual real life magic. At that point, he's. I do love the little bit where he's crawling on the floor looking for a weapon. He sees the poker, he sees the cards, he picks up the cards and tosses them at him.
Which is so based.
Because
we did see him like cut a pen in half.
He's
from like 40 feet away with
Dave
a card.
Franco is the goal of every kid in middle school who wants to learn how to card throw so they can throw the card into the wall.
I know how to card throw.
One of my friends was really into card throwing, and he would like ask to have people stand at the wall, so he'd like try and throw the card right at the top of their head, like William Tell. He really wanted to William Tell with cards. I don't know why.
That's okay. I'm not that good at card throwing.
He wasn't that good at card throwing either. Cards. He just kind of hit people in the face with a card.
Okay. Like most of the time when I toss them, they don't even really go straight, but they get like I can get enough of a spin on them to where they go far, and that's good enough for me.
I do. Yeah, it's like he should have gotten one of those Payday 2 like steel cards that actually like can just fucking kill people. I had a dream.
Oh, absolutely.
I had a dream the other night where I was playing Payday 2 and I got one of like the free daily skin drops, and it was just like a AK-47 skin that was just a bunch of money. It was just like a really stretched out $100 bill texture, and it was worth $225,000. And I got that in my Steam account. I was like, oh, cool. And then I went to bed, and then I woke up because that was my dream.
That's wow. These are the kinds of things you dream about.
Yeah. It's either that or it's just a straight up normal day in my life. I just live a normal day in my dreams, and I get confused when I wake up because I think it actually happened.
Mm-hmm. Or
yeah,
call back.
Yeah, call back to episode whenever that was.
What is it? Would you quantify like not hypnosis, like
Mentalism?
no, going off of, we're still in dreams. Would you like call seeing things during sleep paralysis dreaming?
I think so. I may be speaking out of my ass here, but I think the actual mechanism for sleep paralysis is basically a desynchronization between your brain thinking you're still asleep and thus giving you dreams while you're actually awake. Based on my experiences with sleep paralysis, that's kind of what it feels like, because it's not like I'm seeing things inserted into the real world. It's kind of like I'm seeing the real world that gets shifted, like a dream that's based off of what I'm seeing, if that makes sense. Like, I'll wake up and then the walls will just kind of start to melt. But it doesn't feel like I'm in my bedroom watching the walls melt. It feels like I took a photo of my bedroom and then put that into like a weird AI that's now like fucking up and making the walls melt, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. And so kind of on that note, right, kind of tying it back into the movie, do you think Woody Harrelson's character ever had like a vendetta against a guy in high school while he was learning mentalism and just became their sleep paralysis demon?
I mean, he says to the guy at the beginning, every time you what does he say?
Every time you think of your mistress or your wife's sister that you had an affair with, you're gonna think of me naked.
The guy cheats on his wife, and every time, and Woody Harrelson scams him out of money to keep him silent. And I do like how he says, "You'll think of me naked, and that's not a pretty sight." And the guy just like looks at him and blinks, and just like, "Oh, I'll bet." Let me just. All right. Woody Harrelson naked. Let's see what we see.
Whoa. That is not something we needed to bring into this.
Well, I'm bringing it into it right now. This first 47 minutes is just unsalvageable.
Absolutely. We went from talking about Now You See Me to nude celebrities, and
we'll see how much of this stays in the final episode.
That's kind of an unexpected twist.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how much of that just stayed in, but
all I can say is thank God this is a podcast.
Can we talk about how pathetic Jesse Eisenberg is real quick?
He does just kind of look like a little gooner, doesn't he?
Here's the thing. Jesse Eisenberg is supposed to be, at least in the beginning, he's like this suave, sexy, whatever. He takes the woman home with him after he impresses her with his magic trick. But he's Jesse Eisenberg. Like, you cannot convince me that this man is like a sexy playboy, bad boy magician. Like, I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
Yeah, no, he was definitely, I think he fit more into the role of the little gooner control freak who hates women than he did the super suave magician role.
He had a little bit of an arc about that, but again, none of these characters really have full arcs. Most of the character development time is spent on Mark Ruffalo, but then they just kind of throw that all away at the end because, as it turns out, the Mark Ruffalo we knew doesn't exist.
Yeah, I think each of the four horsemen got maybe like in total 15 minutes of like meaningful screen time.
Yeah, they have archetypes that they fill, and that's about it. Yeah.
Oh, actually, this reminds me. One of the other things in that movie that just made no fucking sense is the building at the end of the movie where they do their third show Because at first it was like just some pulsing lights, and I'm like, okay, cool, LED panels on the side of the building. That's fine. That's whatever. And then they kept getting like more and more fucky, and I'm like, okay,
It starts looking like a
okay, we're
music
getting
festival at the end.
yeah, we can't really like this is not you can't just do this with LED panels. Like this goes beyond what you're capable of doing with just some funny lights. There's some like fucky illusion magic shit.
Yeah, they were
going on
making the
here.
building like pulse in and out. Did you like how they exploded into money, but the money was fake money with their faces on it? That was fun.
Yes, I did like that. I thought that was
I like the
nice.
idea of them just like sitting down and printing off a bunch of Monopoly money to just dump on people's heads.
like they're in like a university library in front of like a public printer,
Yeah.
and they're just printing several pages and then like cutting them out with the dull university like paper guillotine.
I may have done that a few times when I was in college, printing out books on the university printer.
Oh, absolutely. I knew several people that just printed entire textbooks that they found online, like from the university picture. Because, and I don't know about you, but I went to a university that you didn't have to pay
Yeah.
for black and white printing, and boy, oh boy, some people abused that privilege.
Yeah, I didn't have to do black and white. We didn't have to pay for black and white. We did have to pay for printing like posters and stuff like that. But
yeah, posters and color you had to pay for. Well, color you only had to pay for if you didn't know a guy.
yeah,
And I knew enough guys to where I never had to pay for colored printing.
sometimes when I was printing stuff for like professional conferences, they just said, yeah, just put it on the department account and we'll just cover it. But no, I wasn't even printing textbooks. I was straight up. I downloaded like PDFs of books and just printed them.
Oh, like actual
Yeah.
books? Oh.
I had a hobby
I
of
don't know,
amateur book binding at one point, so I was printing them
Oh.
on like copy paper and then making fake. Have I shown you my T-shirt book that I made?
I don't think so. Book binding is a very interesting like art hobby that I've seen a lot of people get really into. It's I think it's one of those things where you can't be a novice at book binding.
It's
You either don't do it or it's something you spend several hours a week dedicating your time to
I
do
may
it.
even have it
Because
still.
you can't half finish like a book binding.
Yeah.
It right? Like if you get like a couple hours into a book binding and you decide this isn't for me, now you just have some floppy leather and a bunch of fucking paper everywhere.
I did it the cheap and I did it the cheap way of like long stitch binding, where you sew it directly into the backing material and there's no hard covers. You just have to have like ties on there.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure if I still have it. When I was in college, I found like this T-shirt in the basement of the dorm that was for like the catering service for like the dining halls. This was in like my first year, and I grabbed the shirt and I had a bunch of paper because I was like trying to learn how to do like the bookbinding stuff, and I was like, here, I'll just use this as the cover. So I cut out like the university like dining hall logo, and then like had to stitch together because it wasn't like long. I screwed it up. It wasn't quite long enough. I had to like stitch together some other bits of the shirt there, and then I like cut off the hem of the shirt and turned it into a tie, and then put like a button on there, and made like this wretched shirt book. And I didn't wash the shirt beforehand, which I only realized after I had done it all. But yeah, I ended up just having the shirt book. I'd throw it up on the screen, but it has the university logo on it, so I don't want to do that. But
Fascinating. Yeah, the book bindings that I always find the most impressive and the ones that I like looking at the most, like these are the kind of book bindings people do that I would be like, I would buy that from you. Like I would pay money for these kinds of things. And it's when people take like long book series,
Yeah.
like book series that have like 5 or more novels in them, and they rebind them so that when you line them all up in order, it's like a concurrent picture.
when I was Man, I was such a fucking nerd. I made a book with like the
Was
I made a book with like the College of Winterhold logo from Skyrim in like gold
based.
leaf imprinted on there. It was awful to try and copy that logo down, but it looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one was also blank, but I've also made covers, either like just dust jackets or like full rebindings of actual books that I have.
Yeah, I think I've been trying to find like loosely trying to find a like a more long form kind of hobby that I can do with my hands,
Hey,
because while I
you
was
can do Warhammer.
absolutely not.
Painting and modeling in Warhammer is huge.
I've done like model painting and making before for like Dungeons and Dragons.
That's how I got in. That's how
and
I
it's
got
not
into it originally. It was from there to Warhammer.
yeah, and it's not really my thing. I don't really get as much of a kick out of
That's
it.
fair. A lot of people in the hobby don't like the hobby. A lot of people just build and paint to get it done, so that they can play with them, which is it's fair. That's a valid way to do it.
I've found that in general, I prefer subtractive art as opposed to like additive art.
See the
if
elephant
that makes
within the
any
marble.
sense. Yes. Yeah, because like I suck at drawing. Like anything
Oh,
that
dude, same.
involves like working with a stencil, never happening. Painting, not really something that I was ever really that great at. Like putting multiple things together to make something else, never really. I don't know. Actually, that's not true. Putting multiple things together to make something else from a functional point of view, any day of the week. But like adding onto stuff to make it look better, I always find that I end up making it more like cluttered and stuff. But
I like painting
what
minis because all the stuff is already there for you, and it's basically a color by
this
numbers.
is true. Yeah, you just
Like
it's like a 3D.
it's a
color
3D
book.
coloring book. Whenever I have to go and try and actually freehand stuff and actually draw and paint, I'm like, oh, I'm not built for this.
Yeah, absolutely
Why
not.
did I choose? Why did I choose to try and put like a skull mural thing on the back of this guy's cape? That was stupid. I should have just made it red.
But yeah, like I've always really liked wood arts, carpentry and wood carving and like general crafting in that notice. And I did a lot of carpentry when I was living in a house that had a porch because I had a space that I could do it.
Yeah.
Like there was genuinely like a couple pieces of furniture in that house that I built that I'm pretty proud of.
You gotta build your own. If you're a dude, you gotta build your own like workbench for the garage.
Oh, absolutely. Like the workbench that I was working on, I built, and it was nice. But like I live in an apartment now,
Yeah.
so that's not really an option. So I've been thinking about trying to get into carving, like wood carving, which is smaller and not nearly as noisy. But it's not exactly any less messy.
Yeah. It's. You should talk to. You should talk to my brother about that. He's like a little woodworking goblin. He Well, I think he originally wanted to be a luthier because luthier, however you say it. He wanted to make guitars because he likes guitars, but he also just does a lot of general woodworking stuff.
That's cool. Instruments, the crafting of
That
instruments
is a really interesting.
is a whole thing.
trade.
Like it's an entire subsect of whatever like original it stems from. For like wood instruments, it's an entire like you can't just make instruments if you know how to carve wood. You can't just make instruments if you know how to work with metal. It's such there's so much like intricacy and fine artwork that goes into it that we have completely strayed away from Now You See Me.
Dude, my my dream job when I was a kid was accordion maker.
You were a weird little kid in elementary school,
accordion
weren't you?
maker, astronaut, president of the United States of America.
That was 1,
That
2,
was 1,
3.
2, 3.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I can respect that.
Yeah, and that is still 1, 2, 3. Just to make it clear, my actual job is like number 25 at that time, and right now is like number 40.
Damn, I don't even think I have 40.
At a certain point, I just started like I went to the Wikipedia page for jobs and just started listing them out in order.
Is there really just a Wikipedia page for jobs? Job, role. Let's see. Types of jobs. Is there a list? There
Day
is
job,
not.
job hunting, employment. What's the Wikipedia page for employment?
I can't believe that there's no just Wikipedia page for a list of every job.
Of every job.
Let's
Odd
see.
job?
List of
Steve
every job. Oh, A to Z Index, Occupational Outlook Handbook. Oh, here we go. Wikipedia, list of occupations. Wages by profession. Aerospace engineering. Wow, that's number 1.
Really? List of occupations
as far as
by
medium
which one are you
wage.
on?
Wage by
just
profession.
the image. Aerospace, computer, chemical, electrical engineering, computer science, mechanical engineering. Where is mine on?
The bottom. I don't even think it's on here, actually.
No, my job is too specialized.
Nice career choices.
Yeah.
Unemployment by major in the United States. Criminal justice. That's crazy. Criminal justice being above performing arts really says something about our society.
Yeah.
Oh my god, almost 70% of criminal justice majors are underemployed. That's incredible.
Ethnic studies is less underemployed than public policy and law.
Well, okay, here's my explanation for that. People that go into public policy and law want to go into politics, and they try to get a job in politics, and they fail. People in ethnic studies give up and get a job in sales.
You're gonna get a kick out of this. Construction trades average pay. You want to guess what the highest one is?
What?
Elevator and escalator installers and repairers.
I think I knew that. I think if you trivia'd me on that, I would have guessed that. And do you know why?
Why?
Because there's none of them.
Yes, that is the reason why.
Because there's like 30 of them total. Like the reason the university we went to had such shitty fucking elevators was because the region we went to school in had one elevator technician in like a 500-mile radius.
I believe it.
But yeah, elevator and escalator installers and repairers, incredible. I like how right under that it's supervisors.
Yeah, that also tracks.
Mm-hmm. And then boiler makers.
Yeah, you need to make sure it won't explode.
You need to do that with elevators too.
Well, yeah. List of military special forces units. Do you want to just read Wikipedia? That's just what we do. Jesus, the first.
Well, I think we can kind of tie this in. We can circle back a little bit to the average wage of a stage magician.
Really, that's in there. List of entertainer occupations.
No, it's not. But I'm looking it up.
Showgirl.
Let's see.
Television presenter. Flair bartender. Magician. Holy shit, magician is... Oh, it's just the thing for magic illusion.
Wow, there's not. All right, maybe we can find it through... I like how there's a practitioner of magic supernatural and a practitioner of magic illusion.
ZipRecruiter. What is average magician salary by state? Holy shit, 82 grand in Alaska? What do you think the lowest state or province for a magician wages is?
Oh, Idaho.
No, it's actually New Brunswick.
New. You said
This,
did you
for
say
some reason, this
state or
includes
province?
Canada as well as states. All of the Canadian provinces are below the lowest U.S. state.
God,
Do you know what the
damn it.
lowest
Of
U.S.
course
state
they
is?
are. What?
Louisiana.
Really?
Yeah, that actually
One of the
tracks.
cities, one of the cities in the shows was New Orleans.
Yeah, but think of the rest of Louisiana.
Oh,
Okay, I'm sorry to
Right.
do that to you. Don't think of the rest of Louisiana.
so fun fact about Louisiana. One of the reasons that Louisiana is the way it is because when the French were first coming over,
You lost me.
yeah, hold on. I need you to strap in and just try and listen to what I'm saying for a couple seconds, even though it involves French people, because it is, in the end, derogatory to them. Okay, so when Louisiana was being colonized, the French government said, we have too many prisoners and we don't have enough space for them. So let's make a deal. If you're a prisoner, we will give you $1,000 if you marry a prostitute and move to Louisiana.
Wow. They
Because
specified
then-
you had to marry the prostitute.
Yes, because prostitution was illegal, but there were so many of them. So they figured they'd kill two birds with one stone and get rid of two criminals at the same time.
I guess, yeah, that would probably put a dent in the prostitution industry.
Yeah, and so if you take that little factoid in mind when you're thinking about Louisiana and the kind of people that live there,
Whoa,
it all
whoa,
starts to
whoa.
make sense.
Whoa. Let's be... We don't want to get too neo-isomorphist on Maine.
No, yeah, I think that pretty much sums up kind of Louisiana as a state, criminals and prostitutes.
Have you ever been
And
to
I think
Louisiana?
I think the show no, but I have a friend that's from there and he kind of yes. Yes. Oh, and in the movie, Now You See Me that we were talking about earlier, they are actually in New Orleans. They do a show in New Orleans during Mardi Gras, and there are boobs on screen for a little bit.
I thought they were.
think that
I
was
thought they
that
were
was
covered.
definitely
I
one
did clock that, but I thought they were covered by a shirt or by people's hands.
No, I mean they were eventually, but no, there were boobs on screen for a second.
I might have gotten a different cut of the movie then, because I was watching the Blu-ray. We're petering out fast, man. This episode is a grease fire that burned bright and hot, and now we're just sort of it's just sort of lingering.
This is how we're ending the episode. Aha! Yes, hour at 5:34. There are boobs on screen.
Actually, I genuinely think that the version that I have is like 4 frames shorter because it never gets that exposed before it cuts.
That's crazy.
All right, maybe some of that stayed in, maybe it didn't. Let's talk about ratings for this movie. We need to invent a rating system that is applicable not only to movies, because we're watching a movie this time, but we do not have to review movies.
It might be something
we can
else.
Review any sort of media. So,
Yep.
I'm thinking like a 1 to 3 stars, like Angry Birds.
Well, okay, here. I think we should tie it in to how closely the movie expresses the ideals and tenets of neo-isomorphism.
That's a good idea. Let's say out of 4. That's a nice even
Yes,
number.
and so just out of 4, how neo-isomorphic is or actually should we do out of 5 because most like examples on
No,
the
no, it's
internet
got
when
to
you
be
look
out
up
of 4. It's got to
bipartisan
be out of
wrath.
4.
Okay, sure. We can do out of 4. So from like what? -4 to 4?
I was thinking 1 to 4, like a human being.
1 to 4, not including 0.
Well, we could do the classic of 1 to 4 is legitimate. -1 to -4 is ironic. Classic. Who am I stealing that from? I don't even know who.
Oh, well, actually, no. This is a good thing that we're having this discussion now because if you think about it, right? So isomorphism is an indicator that a graph is bipartisan, and so bipartisan.
Well,
Um,
that's not.
or it's something
No,
like that. You know,
that's
there's
not.
like
It's
two of them or
nothing
whatever.
like. Sure, say your piece.
Right. It's a whatever. It's a structure preserving mapping between two
Yes,
things.
that one is true.
Right. So you can map two things. You can map one thing to another thing, and it's like that mapping of each point to the equivalent point in the other structure preserves the structure of the original thing. Graphs usually is what they're used. So we can have like neo-isomorphism should have two ends to a spectrum, and like the normal person, it's like a political spectrum, but instead of like one side of the spectrum being a single identity and the other side of the spectrum being a different identity, we should just have the entire spectrum encompassed in neo-isomorphism. And so there's people on either side of it, but regardless of which side you're on, there exists a perfect one-to-one correspondence mapping between the two.
I think you're just saying words at this point. Do we want to say?
No. I don't think you're not. I think you're not hearing my genius.
Can I float you some of my own genius real quick? We need a one-to-one mapping, right? So let's say how relatable is the movie, because if you relate to the movie, then there's a one-to-one. There's a mapping between the movie and your own personal life, or from your own personal life to the movie.
Okay, I think I can.
So that can be your two scales. It can be relatable or not relatable, neo-isomorphic, not neo-isomorphic.
Okay, and so like not relatable is -4, relatable is 0.
Yes.
And then isomorphic is 4, and not neo-isomorphic is 0.
We can do like
so
a
something
4
is not
-1
relatable.
is like very isomorphic, not very relatable.
No, so we add them together. Actually,
that's a great.
If it's like garbage, if it's not relatable and not neo-isomorphic, it gets a score of 0 total. If it's perfectly relatable,
So in the end, the system is meaningless because -1 and 1 is the same as 4 and 4, 4 and -4. We're just concerned with whether or not the relatability and neo-isomorphism match.
Is perfectly balanced, as all things should.
If there's a one-to-one correspondence between the neo-isomorphism and the relatability, this is maybe the dumbest bit we've done on this channel.
No, dude. No. You don't understand. This is perfect. This is what we should be striving for. We run a podcast called the Neo-Isomorphism Podcast, and we have yet to define concretely, mathematically, what neo-isomorphism is.
Well, we still don't have to define what neo-isomorphism is, just if it's a 1 to a 4.
True, but I think we're getting closer to understanding it ourselves, because it's like Catholics don't know what Catholicism is, clearly, or else we wouldn't be in the kind of governmental state that we are.
Wow, I think
it's a.
I don't think Catholics necessarily are the sect to blame for that. We're just coming out of the gate swinging with that one. Wow.
Sorry, my grandfather was a Roman Catholic. So I have grounds to speak on that.
Did you steal my joke?
Anyways, was it your grandfather?
No. I made.
Catholic?
Never mind. I made a joke about Roman Catholics, but it was to someone else who wasn't you. So. Never mind.
So one of us isn't original, is what I'm hearing.
Look, man. All right. 1 to 4 is how neo-isomorphic is this?
Correct.
I'm saying a 3.
Really? I don't know. I would give it like a 2.
I think stage magic is extremely isomorphist in nature.
You think? Okay, but is CGI stage magic, under the pretense that they're trying to gain the permission to do real magic, neo-isomorphic?
Look, if there was a scene where Mark Ruffalo just chain lightninged a SWAT team, immediate 4.
It'd be hard 4. 100%. Because there's no good one-to-one correspondence.
Oh, and Jesse Eisenberg is in this movie.
Of the stage magic.
It's a 2 for sure.
Any of the stage magic that we see, and if we saw like a real magic equivalent to every stage magic act that we saw, that'd be a perfect one-to-one correspondence. But we don't.
It's gonna work one of these days. You can keep saying it's gonna work one of these days.
Yeah, so I think the 3 is a bit of a stretch. I think we give it
I
a
say
2.
2.
As far as yeah,
How
yeah.
relatable is
I think
this?
2.
-1 to -4.
Well, as far as what the fuck is his face? Mark Zuckerberg's character.
I don't want to think about Jesse Eisenberg. Every day I wake up and I want to be a Dave Franco, but I know deep down in my heart that I'm just a Jesse Eisenberg in a world full
and
of Mark
I'm
Ruffalo's.
also 100%. And I'd like to double up and say that I am Mark Ruffalo, and I also think Melanie Laurent is hot.
That's fair. Actually, can
So
I be Woody Harrelson
that
then?
kinda
Because I
adds-
really want to be able to just twist my eyebrow and just kill a man.
Yes. Well, because I think that ties into, because like I think you are Jesse. We are both Jesse Eisenberg, and I think I'm Mark Ruffalo. I'm delusional enough to think I'm Mark Ruffalo, who thinks Melanie Laurent is hot, and you're sad enough to know you're Jesse Eisenberg, wanting to be Dave Franco, but more realistically, you'll end up like Woody Harrelson with the deadbeat thieving evil twin brother that only shows up in the second movie. So I think this is like a solid.
I think that Kafka wrote about that.
Kafka also wrote about a guy.
He wrote about Olga. Yes, we know.
On a beach. Yeah. Kafka wrote about a lot of stuff. I had to read Kafka in high school.
I read Kafka of my own volition because I never went to high school.
Right, I keep forgetting that.
What was... All right, so I think this is a fairly relatable movie. I think a negative.
Yeah, I'd say like -3 is definitely fair for a total score
-1
of rounding applause, -1, which is pretty good. That's almost a perfect.
That's
score.
almost a perfect score. You're right. We're gonna keep chasing that dragon. We'll find it one day. So next week
we will.
Do you want to give us a preview as to what we're looking at?
Okay, so next week we're going to be talking about the Thieves Guild questline in the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim.
You're a dog.
We're gonna go quest by quest and do an in-depth analysis of the neo-isomorphic qualities of each quest.
Sure. Sure, we'll do that. All right. Anything else you wanted to say?
Nope.
All right. Have a good one. Drive safe.
Oh, actually, no. One last comment. Delphine would.
Okay, I don't think you can stay on this podcast anymore. Drive safe.
Eat your vegetables.
Yep. I pressed the wrong fucking button again.